Alright, let's talk about Last Night in Soho. Next week, I will be doing the last Edgar Wright movie, which will be a surprise for a lot of people because a lot of people didn't check that one out, including myself. So, we'll be talking about that in next week's video. Welcome back to my Edgar Wright series of reviews. I reviewed the Cornetto trilogy, Baby Driver, and I've done Scott Pilgrim before, so I didn't re-review it. We are reviewing all the Edgar Wright movies and lead up to the Running Man remake coming out in next month. So, here is Last Night in Soho. I have really conflicted feelings about this movie because the first time I watched this movie was in the theater. Heard a lot of great buzz about this movie for a while. People were, it kept getting delayed because of the pandemic. Finally saw the movie and I loved it, or at least really liked it. But then I bought this 4K. I think it was on a sale, something like that, and I brought it home, watched it again, and I did not feel that way the second time. I was like, what did I see in this movie? This is a generic horror movie. And yeah, I'm not wrong here. This movie is not great. This movie is a generic horror movie with a pretty unique kind of vibe to it. Essentially, what makes this movie unique is that this girl is having visions of like family, or not family, of ghost and presence in her life, and there's this mystery of wait, okay, she's seeing these things, and at first it's like old flashbacks to a ghost, and she's like, okay, I'm seeing these things, and it's a really cool time period throwback. She loves old-fashioned stuff, and then she starts to realize there's something sinister about these visions and is trying to unravel that mystery. But the thing is about this movie is like that part is really cool because you get that amazing costume design and you get that old-timey atmosphere and music that's so well done and well crafted. Anya Taylor-Joy is great in that part. But then when you fucking watch the rest of it, you start to realize, oh shit. This movie's just a generic horror movie, and that's like cool set dressing on top of it. Because we've seen horror movies where people are having premonitions. That's not enough to make it interesting, and it tries, but when you get to actual scares, it's like, oh, she starts seeing crazy visions and jump scares. It's like the most generic, like trite, just nonsense. And then you get to the other side of this movie where like the thing I really hate about this movie is like you get so tired of all these cynical pieces of like crap like that throughout the whole movie, with that going on in the movie. So it's a very, and it's like, this is the movie that Edgar Wright directed, where you can just watch it and be like, that's an Edgar Wright movie. You wouldn't be able to tell other than maybe the fact that a lot of his movies are, very British, and this movie's set in London and it has a British tone to it. But other than that, like, I wouldn't be able to know. It's not a poorly directed movie, but it does feel like his movie with the least personality. And it felt like maybe he didn't fully get how to make a horror movie work, which is funny because, he technically directed a horror movie with Shaun of the Dead, but let's be clear, that was more of a comedy than a horror movie. The things that stick out to me the least in that movie are the horror. So I don't know. It was all over the place. It has a great soundtrack to it. It has great costume design. It has great lighting too. Like, they really do all that really well. And I also got to say, a lot of the dialogue in this movie is really fucking shitty dialogue, where you're watching this movie going, like, at the beginning of the movie, they literally spell out to you that this girl sees her dead mom, instead of it being, like, up for like, a mystery later on of, like, why she sees dead people and stuff. Now you already know, well, she sees dead people, and that's the whole thing, and she has these visions. And it's like, why is this show in your face and obvious when it doesn't need to be? This movie could have been so much more than this. I don't really care for this movie one bit. Last Night in Soho is such a disappointing movie on rewatch, and honestly, I don't think I'll ever rewatch this movie again. I might just keep this 4K just to say I have all the Edgar Wright movies, 'cause that's cool, and I think he will continue to do unique things, but this was just a huge misfire and blunder for him, and I can't believe it got made by Edgar Wright of all people. Like, yikes.